My name is Bibi, a friend of your classmate and also somebody you know. I'm reaching out with a heavy heart and a deep sense of disappointment over recent developments at the Ghana Maritime Authority, where I've served diligently for the past 19 years, including my national service. Last week, without any prior notice or reason, my appointment, along with those of 5 other senior management members, was terminated by a letter from the Secretary to the President. We were not accused of any wrongdoing, nor were our performances in question. The only apparent justification is that we held these positions during the tenure of the previous administration. In my case, I was not a political appointee. I rose through the ranks by merit, hard work, and consistent performance, something the entire maritime industry, both locally and internationally, can attest to. At just under age 45, I still have much to offer this country. Yet, despite my commitment, professionalism, and loyalty to Ghana, I've been cast aside for no other reason than presumed political affiliation. It's painful, not just on a personal level, but because of what this means for public service in our country. It sends a chilling message that competence and dedication do not matter, and that every technocrat is ultimately dispensable if they are perceived to be aligned with the wrong political era. And wrong is in quotes. This is not just about me. It's about a dangerous precedent that threatens to undermine our national institutions and drive away a generation of public servants who simply want to serve Ghana. I chose to stay and serve when others left for greener pastures. Today, I find myself asking whether that decision was a mistake. I know your platform has always stood for fairness, accountability, and national interest. I'm sharing this not for sympathy, but in the hope that voices like yours will help draw attention to this growing politicization of our public institutions. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Now, as I say, I haven't engaged further beyond this. And interestingly, I saw this after I interviewed the Labour Minister. And he said that there are 12,000 people had been appointed after December, but this guy is not part. So I didn't see this before, but I think the GMA, Maritime Authority, is a special case that needs to be looked into. Because the minister said to me that they have a committee looking to review all these appointments, but this guy doesn't fall in that group. He's been there for 19 years, but for some reason, he's been sacked. And he and his other colleagues who've been working there for a long time. So I don't know if I need more information to push this further, or how should we deal with this matter?
First of all, I think it's not a fair practice, and both you see, both political parties have taken turns in perpetuating this this agenda, which is so unfair. Okay, MPP did it ruthlessly. NDC is even scaling it up in a more bizarre manner. And normally they forget that they are sowing seeds that they will reap. Because you see, if you don't apply wisdom to the way you approach this thing, you are only setting traps for the people you are appointing today. Trust me, they won't be any different. Okay, there has to be a human face to it. As a person, I disagree with the quick fix appointments that would be made after 7th of December. Okay, unless there are special cases, maybe in the professional sector like the medical area, teaching area, nursing, But this quick fix one is a no-no. But for somebody who's been working, doing their work, especially even before the former government came in, you come, I don't like the way you look because you were closer to the former MD, so you have been dismissed. It's just not fair. And what you are doing is setting traps for the people you are. Listen, no matter what you do, if we don't apply a human face to this, okay. I like the way the communications minister, Sam George, came to explain his own why he had to let them go. You understand? But the arbitrary nature of I have sacked you because I don't like you is so inhumane and unfair.
This particular letter, I'm sure, was signed by the Secretary to the President.
Yes, for the Maritime Authority.
Which means that it's coming from the top. You understand? And
do they have some information we don't have?
That's the point I'm making, that unless there's something we don't know, because in the case, for instance, in the case of communication ministry, he went on certain platforms to explain in detail. And by the time they are done with the explanation, you can't help but to agree. That's a different situation. But the situation where I have sacked you because we are in power thing is too toxic and unnecessary. So now when you sack him and later you come and tell us that you are creating jobs for people who don't have jobs, you want us to believe you?
I'm being told that this Maritime Authority one was actually a decision taken by the new CEO on the basis that when he got there, he realized that there were too many staff, and a lot of them he did not believe were doing anything. So this is what I'm being told now. So it's like he felt that the place was overstaffed and a lot of them were redundant, which is why he took the decision. Now, we don't know what process he used to arrive at who to add, which is what he's saying. That I think that the person, whether it's Director General or CEO or whatever of the Maritime Authority, needs to have a more scientific way of doing it. Because you cannot have somebody working in a place for 19 years. 19 years is 2002 or 2003.
Yeah.
To sack such a person,
There has to be a scientific way of doing it.
Evaluating, even if they are not.
We've heard of places where staff had been so overloaded
Yeah.
in public institutions to the extent that you get to an office that
There's
can
no
accommodate,
furniture.
that can physically accommodate 5 people.
And then there are
There are
6 people.
15 people.
Yeah, they don't have
Some
chairs.
of them don't have chairs.
It's serious.
Purchase in the office.
You know, and I think that there should be naming and shaming. You see, it's unfortunate that you have to sack the employees
Yeah.
become the
They
victims.
pay the price
The
for
people who
political-
cause the mess, they are sitting there reading graphic.
So how does he go about it? So if you are the DG of this organization and you take over and you realize that there are maybe the place overstaffed by say 1,000,
Yeah.
based on an evaluation, do you share the results of the evaluation to say that this is the objective reason why I'm sacking you, or do you come up with some? You get it? Because he also feels like
No,
the
it's
place-
important that you share because you see, this person, for instance, a BB person, from the way he's communicating, seems to me like he's somebody who's
Yeah, he's a serious guy.
a serious guy.
Yeah.
Now, if he's looking for a job somewhere and he is able to articulate the reasons why he was made to leave, okay, as written by yourself, I think that it will give him some credit. That he hasn't been sacked for any negative reason.
Right.
Okay, he can put the political undertone inside. You understand? But the thing is, if I've been there for 19 years, from the 19 years that I've been there, within that period, another 800 people have been employed. Some of them at my level. How come I'm the first person to be made to leave?
At
You know,
this level.
it raises questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So for you, from a follow-up point of view, probably need to let the DG know that this has come on air, and also the Minister for Employment, to see if they can deal with it.
Yes, but it's curious that it came from the Flagstaff House. It's curious that
My
it came,
producer is telling me that it did not come from the Flagstaff House, but this is what this person
Okay.
is saying. My producer
okay.
is saying that it was a DG's decision.
Oh, okay. So the letter was not signed by the President's secretary.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, that would be very curious.
don't believe
that
it
would be
was.
very, very curious that the President's secretary signs a letter
To sack somebody.
sack somebody.
I don't think that's correct.
not the boss, not the deputy,
No,
but that would be
I
very
don't
strange.
Think, yes, so I think Fred is right. This was from the company, but I think because it happened within that
Yeah.
whole system.
No,
No,
but
actually, he said his letter was signed by the Secretary to the President.
well, that's still that's very curious.
And then I need to know his
That's
position.
very curious.
Then we'll see.
Yeah.